Okay, this lesson is a lot simpler than yesterday's. Starting out with ray, you probably learned about what a ray was in elementary school. A ray has an endpoint and then it goes on forever in just one direction. If we were to name this ray, we'd name it by the points. So this could be identified as point O, and then maybe it has a point on the ray. And to name it, it would look like this, ray OM. When you name it, you start with the endpoint. That has to be the first letter, and then just name one other point. Okay, opposite rays look like this. Let's say we have a ray, call this JK. And then a ray opposite to it would be this here. And it creates a straight angle or a straight line. Both would be correct. So we can say that ray JH and ray JK are opposite rays. Okay, an angle. You should be familiar with what an angle is. By definition, it is two rays that come together at a common point. So just in parentheses, write two rays. Then we're going to start by just drawing an angle. Right here. And this angle has a number 3 in it like that. That number is one way we can name that angle. So we can say that this is angle 3.
Teachers, can you please release C lunch students? Thank you.
Okay. Then often the vertex right here will be labeled with a point. Let's say that's point X. That point is another way we can name that angle. So we can say this is angle X. Another way so I do 2 more points on my angle. Another way is to use these points to name the angle. So we can say this is angle YXZ. When you name it based on the points, the vertex has to be that middle letter. And you would only use 3 points. If it had more points on it, just use 3 of them. Then the other way would be ZXY. It doesn't matter which order as long as the vertex is the middle letter. I've been using the word vertex a lot. The vertex is like the elbow joint of the angle where the 2 rays meet. And then another word that's important is this is the interior of the angle. And as you may guess, that means this is the exterior of the angle. One more thing about this angle. It has sides. The sides of the angles are the rays, so you could say that the sides of this angle is ray XZ and ray XY. Okay, then at the bottom here, we're going to do a little review on classifying angles. The first angle, which probably looks familiar, looks like this, and it has a little square right there. This is called a right angle, and it is exactly 90 degrees. Then the next angle is called an acute angle, like an acute little baby. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. And last but not least, as you may predict, is an obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. The other one that comes up sometimes is a straight angle, and that's just like a straight line. It's 180 degrees. Okay, then we have two more vocabulary words over here. The first one is congruent angles. Congruent means the exact same size. So here we have two congruent angles. Congruent meaning they have the same angle measure. You can identify congruent angles because they will have the same like arc here, and that means they're the same measure. So here we can say angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And last but not least, angle bisector. Bisector, as I mentioned yesterday, cuts something exactly in half. So if you have an angle bisector, you would have an angle to start with. And then the bisector would cut it exactly in half. So this side of the angle would be the same measure as over here. So if this is 35 degrees, this would also be 35 degrees.